trying to tap into everything that's happening right now as a chance for change. Like if what we're talking about as a society and what you hear being repeated in the news all the time is how much we need to change, how much change there needs to be or whatever. And, given the circumstances we're in, facing a global pandemic, facing all this uncertainty, if that isn't like a time to actually change and to make some kind of have some kind of personal accountability moment, I don't really know when is.
Welcome back to Kesha and the Creepies. Today, I am very excited to welcome my next guest, Laura Jane Grace. How are you?
I'm fantastic, Kesha. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on here. I'm such a fan of you and your music. Being a punk, what does that mean to you?
To me, it's inseparable from the experiences I've had, at this point. And the values that I've learned from it, like the way I live my life, everything has been shaped by that. The music to me, you can always get into that argument of what is, what isn't punk. And I will take a really long view of it and think of like all the different sounds that have equated to punk rock since it started. But I really identify with the ideology about it, about thinking for yourself, about questioning authority, about being an individual. And those lessons have led me to meet people, to travel the world, to, fulfill all of my wildest desires. And I'm forever thankful for it.
And not just speaking about music, right? Just the idea, the ideology, the feeling, the identification, like all of that? Or is it like mainly based in music or also the politics?
I find the politics to be inseparable from the music. If the music doesn't have politics to it, and if they aren't fucking good politics, then it's not very fucking punk. But have you ever been to the Town Ballroom in Buffalo, New York?
I don't know if I have.
So the Town Ballroom has been there for 100 years. Back in the day, it's where Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr., people like that used to play. And it was a speakeasy. And in the basement of it, there's all these tunnels that used to connect to buildings across the street or whatever, running through underneath Buffalo. And you can still play there. It's an awesome place. And you can go down into those tunnels and they are legitimately haunted. So the first time we went down there, someone from the venue took us down and is showing us around, and there's all these rooms, and then there's this long tunnel, and there's a big safe right next to the entrance of the tunnel. And they're like, hey, before you go in, set $1 in there or whatever. And you're like, okay, you're playing along, set $1 in there. And you go to the end of this tunnel where there's rooms that shoot off from it, and it's pitch black, just so scary. And you get to the end of it, and there's an old bathroom, and it's all busted up. The urinals are all smashed to bits. The toilet's all smashed. So that first time we went down there, we went into the back, we smoked a joint, whatever, and then, played the show.
Sounds like the worst place to smoke a joint ever.
Oh, it's so creepy. And we were daring each other, hey, someone stay down here alone, see if you feel the ghost or whatever. And it was scary, legitimately scary, but nothing happened. So the next time we went back, the band we were on tour with, I was like, yeah, I'll show you down there. I'll be the tour guide this time. I got the spiel last time. Went down there, was showing them around, took them to the end, to the bathroom, all the way at the end of this hallway. And as we're coming back, I turned around and I saw a little boy just run in front of me, the mist of a little boy, the shape and form of a little boy. And I turned just stone cold. All the hairs on my neck stood up, and I got the hell out of the basement as quick as
Oh my God. So that you saw not an actual little boy, but a little boy, a ghost little boy.
It was the ghost of a boy. It was 100%. I know what I saw. And that was the first time I think I've legitimately seen a ghost. But that was a moment where I'm I have no idea how to explain it. I know the majority of the people in my band or my friends hate hearing me tell that story because they think I'm totally full of it. But at the same time, I know what I saw. And
you know what you saw.
Yeah. And I, afterwards, after everyone else had no one else saw it when we were down there, but after we had all gotten out of the basement, I went back down there and I sat at the the mouth of the opening of the tunnel. And I sat there and I was like, I just want to be friends with whatever you are. And I had like some playing cards that I had found a couple weeks earlier that I was holding on to. And I was like, I want to leave these here for you. And I was like trying to talk to appease the ghost or whatever, communicate in some way. But I got this overall feeling of like, leave now. Get out of here. So I did. I just got out of there. I left.
I probably would too. Damn. What a mean little kid. You brought him a present. I don't feel like you gave him $1.
I feel like there was more there, you know? So that's an example of where I'm coming from, you know, of like how I view things. I can't explain that. Like, I don't know if I can explain that as like that was a ghost with consciousness, or that was more of like an echo of a memory, but it felt like there was an energy there, and it felt like that energy was communicating in some way, or like aware, or could be, you know, felt, or a change was still in flux. And I feel like I've had a lot of experiences like that at venues to varying degrees, and just like in life too.
To hear the entire podcast, listen and follow Kesha and the Creepies on iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts.